Welcome to the demo video of our budget spreadsheet. This budget spreadsheet has 5 tabs. A README tab with instructions on how to use the budget dashboard with a button to make a copy for the next month and a button for video tutorials. The second is an example tab to have a better idea of how to use this budget. The third tab is your budget dashboard. This tab is the goals and debt payoff tracker. And finally, the bill calendar tab. So here is your budget dashboard. To start budgeting, you can double-click here to select your start month. The month will then show automatically on the top here. This way, if you create any duplicates of this tab, you'll easily be able to tell your different budgets apart. On the top here, you'll also be able to change your currency. When you change your currency here, it will update everywhere else in the tab. Now, the next thing we're going to do is add some subcategories. You can enter subcategories for your income, savings, bills, expenses, subscriptions, investments, and debts. All you have to do is type it in the empty fields here. So for example, you might receive money from a paycheck, and you might have a second income source, such as freelance work. Let's say you also receive some money from gifts. Now let's enter all our subcategories quickly and have a better look to see what this will look like in our budget. Now we've added some subcategories for each category. Basically now the next thing that we can do is add a budget amount and its due date. You can add your payday by double-clicking in the field or just type the date. And let's say, for example, you expect a $2,000 paycheck, a $500 from your freelance work, and you might receive $50 worth of gifts. So let's add some amounts in the other categories, such bills, expenses, savings, subscriptions, and debt, to have a better look and see what this looks like. You'll also be able to enter some due dates here for your bills and for your debts, so that way you can be sure that you never miss a bill payment or a debt payment again, and stay on top of your bills by clicking on these checkboxes here. Basically, this way, you can easily check it off as paid and make sure that you never miss a bill payment or a debt payment again. Now, when you add these budget amounts, you'll also see some graphs appearing on the top here. The rest of the graphs and the rest information will appear when you add in your actuals. Now, when the month has started and you start receiving your actual income and you start spending money, you can add your expenses in the actual sections or your income into the actual sections here. So let's say, for example, you received a paycheck of $2,000, $500, and a gift of $50. You can now see that your left to spend section here will update automatically for you. Your breakdown will now also start appearing as soon as you start information to your savings, bills, expenses, subscriptions, investment, and debt sections. So let's say, for example, you received your paychecks and straight away you put some money aside towards those savings. Now, when you add that information here, you can see that your left to spend section updates, your budget versus actual updates, and your breakdown updates. Alternatively, you can use the transaction tracker to add your transactions for your expenses, bills, savings, subscriptions, investment, and debt. You just simply scroll down to the bottom here. You enter in a date. This is optional. You enter your category, type. Before using the transaction tracker, make sure to add your subcategories above in the sections, so it's added automatically in the transaction tracker drop-downs. So let's say, for example, you spend $200 on fuel. When you add that here, you'll be able to see a spending chart and a spending breakdown. Basically, this will allow you to see exactly where your income went and how much money that took and what the percentage is. Now, when you've added that here, when you go to the top, you can see this has been added here. So now let's say, for example, you want to add your credit card debt. You enter in a date, you choose debt in category and credit card in type, and finally add your amount. And that is it. That is basically everything you need to know about this budget spreadsheet. Now let's say, for example, your month or your week or your paycheck has finished and you want to start a brand new budget. All you have to do is click on this little arrow here and then click on Duplicate. When you create a duplicate, you get an exact copy of the tab that you have here. So it might be easiest to use this budget tab, the original budget tab, as a template. So for example, if you leave all these actuals empty and maybe just add the planned amounts, add the due dates, and basically add your subcategories. Now when you create a copy, all you have to do is add your actuals throughout the month and adjust the budgets if needed. Perhaps adjust the due dates if needed. This way you can create as many duplicates as needed for as many paychecks or as many months as you like. And whenever you don't need it anymore, you just hit that little button again and click Delete. Now we personally would recommend keeping the original as a template, as this contains all the formulas. This way, if you accidentally make any changes, you always have the original template that you know that works for sure. And that is it! If you have any other questions about this budget spreadsheet, I'll be sure to leave some contact information in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.